If you've spent this Christmas being called stubborn, unreasonable, even narcissistic by your own family because you're protecting your peace, then this video is for you. As a neurodiversity specialist and mum who has walked that exact line, I am here to tell you that you are not the problem. You are the cycle breaker. And I'm going to explain what's going on and how you can deal with it. Perhaps you've got yourself out of a controlling situation, or you just want to focus on the needs of your child rather than protecting the image of the perfect family. These are situations that are really difficult to navigate. When somebody loses control over you, they start to control the narrative about you. And that leads to them recruiting what in psychology they call flying monkeys, named after the flying monkeys in The Wizard of Oz. And these are people who are recruited to be told a narrative about you, to go out and talk to you, gather information to take back to this person, because that is the way that they can have control through that information. And that means that often protecting your peace means you start to lose relationships with a wider number of people who have been recruited in this flying monkey role, leading to real feelings of isolation where you find yourself defending your parenting, defending yourself to other people. And when we add neurodivergence into that mix as well, it gets even harder, because we're often defending parenting that looks very different to what people expect parenting to be. We are parenting our child by meeting their needs, by providing scaffolding, by understanding reasons behind behaviour that often the people criticising don't understand and don't see. So we've got this double need to defend ourselves going on. If you found yourself in this situation, the need to have confidence in your parenting and to understand what your family are seeing, that you're seeing differently, and how to bridge that gap is so important. Next week I've got a video which is a letter to grandparents explaining to them why parenting might be looking so different for your generation compared to their generation, and how we are looking at meeting the needs of our neurodivergent children. The key is that this isn't permissive parenting, which is often what people see when we're parenting neurodivergent children, but it's neuro-affirming parenting. So when a child fails to follow an instruction, grandparents may well be seeing a child who's rude, who is dismissive of authority, who's disrespectful. We know that this is a child who's struggling with their working memory, struggling to focus, who has an interest-led motivation system, and therefore they need support to follow the instructions, follow our expectations. We need to make sure the instructions and expectations are actually right for their age. And grandparents may well be seeing that as permissive parenting, seeing this as allowing a child to get away with everything. But we know this is about supporting our child, and it's that piece that, added to somebody creating a narrative about you that is about trying to control the narrative and wanting to see you as the problem, that makes this so hard. This makes the cost of cycle breaking so huge. That loneliness is the real cost of breaking the cycle. It's loss of relationships that we expected to be there and expected to be our safety net. And especially at Christmas, these losses can be felt even harder, especially if you grew up with big family Christmases and perhaps that's how you expected family Christmases to be. And that can be both from loss of relationships, but also from your child who may struggle with those large family Christmases, and that may not actually be appropriate for giving them the best Christmas that they need. And again, this is about you meeting your child's needs, putting them above the image of the perfect family, and the real cost of that loneliness can feel really heavy. When a family chooses to mask and create the image of the perfect family rather than see the truth and accept the truth of a child within a family, that really is their loss. It's not your failing, and it's okay to grieve. It's okay to grieve relationships and situations, Christmases even, that you thought you were going to have and you're now not having. And that can weigh really heavy, as again, especially at Christmas time, that loneliness, that grief can weigh really heavy. And it is something to sit with, but it's important to remember that as parents in particular, we shouldn't be taking criticism from people that we wouldn't turn to for advice. And that can be hard in family systems, because these may well be the people we thought we would be turning to for advice. But we know where we need to get that advice from, and especially when we have neurodivergent children. And it's important to release the guilt. Release the guilt feeling of relationships that have broken, and remember that it takes two people to create a healthy relationship. It takes a strong, brave mother to protect her children and to break the cycle, because the cost of cycle breaking is so huge. It takes a lot, and it's important that we do release that guilt, that we don't carry that guilt or feel like we should have tried harder. And if only we'd tried harder, maybe these things wouldn't have happened. Because the reality is that's not the case. It isn't about having tried harder or not tried hard enough. So if this Christmas you have felt like the villain in your family, drop a heart in the comments. Let's support each other, and let's see how many people are feeling this. Because I think that's another part of the isolation and loneliness, is that feeling that we're the only ones experiencing this. And you're not the only person experiencing this. There are lots of people who are experiencing similar things. And something that's really important to say as I close this video, it takes a strong, brave mum to be the cycle breaker. And you're watching this video, you are that strong, brave mum.